What's up? I'm Shred. I've been tattooing for the last 19 years. 16 of them here at Shred's Inferno. I've met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. One of the guys that I tattooed, Derrick Rose, been tattooing him for the last few years now. Done a lot of cool work on him. When I first started tattooing Derrick, he'd always come here, he'd roll up and, just some regular car, regular guy, come in, sit down, wait for his turn to be tattooed, out in our waiting room on the bench. And still does it to this day, only now he comes in a Bentley. As a matter of fact, one time he came in his Bentley that he just bought, and people, word around town was that I tattooed him, so when they see a Bentley out front, they figure it's got to be him. So, a couple people turned into a big crowd, and before we knew it, there was maybe 300-400 people out front waiting to get a glimpse of Derrick Rose getting tattooed. Yeah, we even had to call the police and have them escort him out just so he got out safely, which, we were both a little worried about that, but, it was just a bunch of happy fans showing their support for him, which is a really neat thing. So the first time I tattooed Derrick Rose, he was brought in by his brother. He came in to get Only God Can Judge Me on his arm. Came in, quiet kid. Didn't have too much to say other than that he wanted to get tattooed. Probably a little scared because it was his first time getting tattooed. Sat him down, didn't really, know what his story was, until I get to tattooing people, I don't learn their story. Maybe by the second tattoo he came in and he wanted a wizard holding a basketball. At that point I figured I'd ask him, hey, you play basketball? You're getting a basketball tattooed on you. And he's like, yeah, I play basketball, I play for Simeon. And I said, Simeon? Didn't they win a championship last year? He said, yeah, and we're going to win one this year, too. And I was like, oh, right on, you go. And they ended up winning that championship, and he ended up going off to Memphis, and now he's a Bull. And, along that route, I tattooed him a lot. First tattoo he got was Only God Can Judge Me. It was a cross with some hands, some praying hands, and some eyes behind the praying hands. Kind of symbolizes God and, that God's the ultimate one that looks over you, and judges what you do, and people shouldn't judge people on how they are or where they came from. The Sweet Home Chicago I did on him, symbolizing Chicago, his love for the city, his love for the place that he grew up in. That was a lot of fun to do, I'm here in Chicago too, and the city means a lot to me too, so it's always cool to do something that has to do with Chicago. City of Chicago, and putting Sweet Home Chicago on it, it's a good thing. On the other hand, I did a rose with his mom's name. His mom is completely important to him. That's his the apple of his eye. His mom's the apple of his eye. Which you always got to respect a man who has respect for his mother. Another tattoo that I like to do, I'm personally a portrait artist, and I like doing portraits, and he came to me with a portrait of Malcolm X. That was a pretty cool tattoo to do. One, because of what it stands for, but two, because of the fact it's a portrait, and I get to really showcase my art and what I do on somebody, which is cool. It's always been cool, him coming up and seeing him on billboards and stuff and looking up at him and being like, hey, there's my tattoos up there with him, And it's kind of a neat feeling, kind of weird, because knowing him as this kid that wasn't on the Bulls, wasn't on TV every other day, wasn't in every other commercial. To see him being that way was kind of wild, because it's like, hey, there's that kid, just a kid, just a person. And he still is just a person, only everybody knows him now. But still the same person, Yeah, still to this day, even going to games, it's like, wow, there he is out there on the court, standing on the court, as an MVP. And that's a cool thing, and you gotta have a lot of pride in that, and that's good for him. I'm happy for him, happy for everything that, he accomplishes, with basketball and with life, and he really does deserve it.